Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys are doing well. Today we're going to look at our first case study, which is the Green Revolution under the topic agriculture, which is under production, location and change. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. I'm going to look at the Green Revolution in India. The Green Revolution took place in a number of countries, with India being one of them. So India is an LIC found in Asia, and India took up the Green Revolution in 1965. What was the Green Revolution? So the Green Revolution was a series of programs that were put in place and were aimed at making mechanical, social and biochemical changes to the traditional farming methods in India. And I'm going to go into further detail of the specific mechanical, biochemical and social changes that were put into place. We're going to look at some of the reasons why India decided to take part in the Green Revolution. So in 1943, under British rule, the Bengal famine killed about 4 million people. And of course, after such a tragic event, a lot of people were skeptical, a lot of people were scared, a lot of people were uncomfortable. So after the British left in 1947, India as a whole was in search of new methods to ensure that such an event would not be repeated, and this resulted in the Indian government agreeing to take part in the Green Revolution, with their main aim being to ensure that food security was a priority. I'm going to go back to some of the changes that were put into place to make sure that the traditional farming methods in India were improved. So I'm going to start off with the biochemical changes, and these included the increase in the use of fertilizer and pesticide as well as herbicides, and there was an increase in the use of high-yielding variety seeds. For example, the IR8 rice variety from the Philippines and the Miracle wheat from Mexico. Then under our mechanical changes, we have irrigation, we had the use of planters, plows and combined harvesters. And finally, under our social changes, we had a number of things put into place. For example, there was better education, which helped in improving farming as a whole in India. We had loans from a number of banks, we had land reform, and we had improved markets. Now we're going to take a look at the three main elements of the Green Revolution in India. These are 1. The use of high-yielding variety seeds, which we already discussed. This basically refers to the use of our Miracle wheat and our IR8 rice variety. 2, which is our double cropping. This basically refers to having 2 growing seasons as opposed to 1, and this was enabled by irrigation systems being improved. And finally 3, which is our continued expansion of farming areas, which is also referred to as the extensification of agriculture. For all 3 elements of the Green Revolution, the main purpose was to ensure that there was an increase in total yields. Now we're going to take a look at some of the benefits of taking part in the Green Revolution in India. These included the creation of jobs. There was an improvement in food security, which was one of India's major concerns. There was the generation of foreign currency through the export of surplus grain. In 1978, 131 million tons of grain was produced, and this placed India amongst the world's greatest agricultural producers. Between 1947 and 1978, there was an increase or an improvement in the yield per unit farmland by 30%. There was an improvement in the standard of living, especially the standard of living of farmers. there were improved technical skills, the soil was enriched through the use of fertilizers, and there was also an increase in soil moisture through irrigation. Getting rid of notorious pests also became easier by using pesticides. There was an increase in the food available for wildlife, which greatly aided in maintaining biodiversity. There was also reduced soil erosion by implementing a number of farming methods, for example, terracing and contour plowing. There was also access to land through the land reform programs. Now we're going to look at some of the advantages of using the IR8 rice variety in particular. So the IR8 rice variety was more responsive to fertilizers as compared to the traditional indica rice, and this resulted in greater yields per unit output. In 1960, every hectare produced about 2 tons of rice when using indica rice. However, by 1990, this increased to 6 tons per hectare using the IR8 rice variety. And using the IR8 rice variety in the presence of fertilizer produced about 10 tons of rice or grain per hectare. The IR8 rice variety also had shorter and stronger stems as compared to the indica rice, and therefore the plants could withstand strong winds and were therefore not as easily destroyed as the indica rice plants. The growing period for the IR8 rice variety was also shorter, was easier to calculate, and was more predictable, and this allowed for double cropping. This also allowed for proper planning. Although the Green Revolution came with a number of positive impacts, there were also quite a number of negative effects associated with the Green Revolution. These included eutrophication, which is a form of water pollution and is a result of the washing away of fertilizers into water bodies. By 1970, 150 million hectares of land were badly degraded and resulted in land becoming unusable or infertile due to soil erosion. The overuse of fertilizer destroyed and altered the soil structure, and this resulted in soil becoming more prone to erosion by wind and water. Waterlogging was also a great issue as it resulted in salinization, and it also resulted in the removal of the soil's air, which was a vital component of soil as a lot of organisms depended on this air for survival. 40 million hectares were made useless or infertile. We also had regional and individual inequalities. The overuse of pesticides also resulted in the loss of biodiversity. There was an increase in the number of deaths due to the misuse of pesticides. Air pollution also became more common due to the use of pesticides and fertilizers. There was an increase in greenhouse gas emissions, and this greatly contributes to the rate of global warming. And finally, there was an increase in diseases due to the use of pesticides. This brings us to the end of this video. I hope you found this useful. Please don't forget to share, comment, like, and subscribe. Have a great day.